Hello, City Clerk. Testing one, two, three.
Hey, Alderman Thomas.
How you doing this evening?
I am doing just fine, thank you. And yourself?
I'm doing great, thank you. All right.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Attorney Coleman.
How is everyone?
Doing great, thank you.
Good.
Well, hello, everybody.
Hello, Mayor.
Good evening, Mayor.
Evening.
Evening.
Hello.
Hello. Good evening again, ladies and gentlemen. So good to see each of you on the Zoom tonight. It is 7:30. I'll call the meeting to order. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll, please?
Yes, sir. Alderwoman West.
Present.
Alderwoman Tatman.
Here.
You just commit somebody else. Hold on. Alderwoman Reed. Alderwoman Reed. Alderwoman Reed. Not present. Alderman Carroll. Alderman Carroll. Alderman Carroll. Not present. Alderman Thomas.
Present.
Alderwoman Dales. Alderwoman Dales. Not present. Alderwoman Avant Elliott. Alderwoman Avant Elliott. Alderwoman Avant Elliott. Not present. Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
we have a roll call of 3 present and 4 not present.
All right, so
There is no quorum.
there is no quorum. So we will
Right.
adjourn the regular board meeting for the lack of a quorum. And it will now be a mayor's meeting, not a Board of Alderman meeting, a mayor's meeting. And in the mayor's meeting, I wanted to share information with our citizens. Alderwoman West.
I would just like to know why you are continuing when at the last meeting, there was no quorum and you immediately adjourned the meeting.
Because I didn't want to argue with anyone. That is why.
That's not an acceptable answer. I think you're showing bias, but that's my opinion.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, we're going to go down a roll and call for our departments and our other groups for a report if they have one. And then we'll move into the public can speak. The public speak, and then after that, we will prepare to adjourn the meeting. So we will call now. Commissions, let's see, Public Safety Committee. I don't think there's anyone from Public Safety. Youth Commission.
Good afternoon, everyone. I really don't have a report, Mayor, but I would like to ask the public for their assistance and support. We currently have 2 members that are looking to join the Youth Commission. Right now, we do not have any of our old or previous members. They all have resigned. And I am asking for assistance if you guys are willing to assist. We did show up for the Halloween event that took place at the rec center and assisted the police department and fire department with passing out candy for the Halloween event. Again, if you would like to join the Youth Commission, there is an application that is on the city's website that you must complete. If you do not have access to internet or anything like that, I can provide you with application. Thank you so much, Mayor. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Image and beautification. Park and Rec Board.
Yes, so the Park and Rec Board met in October and discussed several things that are upcoming. The current brochure that we're currently going to be working on that has a due date of for the staff to get that stuff to about December 10th, and that'll be out hopefully the first or second week of January. And so we'll be to discuss that and possibly we're going to look at some user fees for the recreation center as well, just as the cost of living and staff salaries are increasing. The minimum wage is going up by mandate through Missouri. And so just to help kind of offset some of those fees that we see as a current rise. And the next meeting will be on November 16th at 7 p.m. at the recreation center. If anyone would like to join and come and sit in for a meeting, you're more than welcome to as a citizen. Would you like me to just move into my rec department update?
Yes, please.
Okay, we hired a new recreation specialist to oversee the front office. Her name is Tristy. She has a strong background in customer service. So we are excited to have her on board. And if you guys come to the rec center, please say hi to her. Once again, her name is Tristy. So she'll be around in the office. We do have an individual that will be leaving us probably sometime in January. And so she'll be backfilling that role. So in order to, before we can get the next person hired for the recreation supervisor position. We got some good news on the roof update. So we received the municipal park grant to purchase the new trusses, and that grant was for the full $420,000. And so that was a crucial step in getting the recreation center roof fixed. And so we are pleased to announce that we have been awarded that grant. So a few of us, Pat and Clayton, have been working on bid packets for engineering for that. And so those were sent out to multiple engineering firms today. And that deadline is December 9th to have that information submitted back to us in a sealed bid. We'll have a bid opening at 1 o'clock on December 9th to go look at all those bids and see what the numbers have come back at. And so then the purpose of the engineering packet is they're going to design the trusses that we're going to purchase. And then they'll also oversee the installation and be on the field site visits to kind of work with the contractor to make sure everything is going accurately, smooth to specs so that we don't have any design issues in the future. The outdoor pool, there's several warranty repairs taking place right now. They're doing is busting up some of the concrete plaster that failed over the summertime and redoing that in the zero depth entry, the expansion joints. There's several spots that they're gonna have to fix, and then recaulking underneath the gutter system. Westport Pool was out today to install new flow meters at the outdoor pool. And so we have in the past, we've never had those on the outdoor pool. We always got dinged on our inspection by county. So now we'll be 100% compliant on our pools moving forward, which is good. That concludes my report. Any questions?
Any questions? Not now. You can, citizens, you can prepare to ask any questions later if you like. Thank you for that report, especially the one that says we got the grant, the $420,000 grant that we lost last year. This year we got it, and we want to thank Jimmy for his hard work on that. We're going to move now to street department.
Good evening, everyone. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Street department report. We have received our road salt for the winter season. We have approximately 250 ton on site and 150 ton in reserve if we should need it. We're almost complete with the sinkhole repair in the 1200 block of Ashford. Work has been started on the sinkhole in 1100 block of Tappan. That should be completed by next week sometime. Then we will concentrate on the 1200 block of Hoyt and another sinkhole repair also in 1100 block of Bosworth. We hope to have those done by the end of November. We're also taking care of some problem trees recently throughout the city. As of, we've taken care of 8 in the last 2 weeks, complete removal. And I would like to bring attention to the city bridges. I just received MoDOT's 2-year report on the bridges within the city. We have one on Belgrove, we have one on Shepley, and then we have one on Old St. Cyr. Like I said, MoDOT gives us a report every 2 years. They go by a rating of the bridge structures on a scale of 0 to 9, 7 to 9 being good, 5 to 6 being fair, 4 is poor. Anything under 4 is considered needing immediate attention. In 2019, Belgrove bridge rating, the deck rating was a 6, structure rating was a 5. This year, 2021, Belgrove deck rating is a 4, structure rating is a 4. So it's in need of repair, not immediately, but just something that we need to look into. 2019 Shepley Bridge, the deck was rated at a 6, structure was rated at a 6, and this year, 2021, Shepley had no changes, deck rating was a 6, and the structure was a 6. The repairs that were they recommended on Belgrove is to repair the undermining of a wing wall and channel banks needing to be protected. A new asphalt overlay with a waterproof membrane is what they recommend. And that completes my report.
All right, thank you for that report. And citizens, you can hold your questions until the end, which won't be very long. We'll move to the chief's report.
Thanks, Mayor. I just have a few things. just starting with the crime and activity report, I just want to point out that assaultive behaviors up again, and motor vehicle theft is up really high again compared to the last, actually since the beginning of the year. 27 stolen cars occurred in September. These are all September stats. The October stats I'll have at the second meeting this month. I also want to point out a couple notable things that I think people need to be aware of, and most of you might already know. Back on October 11th, do I need to hold on or?
No, I don't know who said that.
Okay. Back on October 11th, there was an attempt robbery between two customers at the Conoco station at the corner of Bell Fountain and Chambers. There was a shootout that rolled down from Bell Fountain and Chambers down the Gateway Market. The chase car had a AR-15 rifle hanging out the window, shooting at the car. The victim was, we never were able to identify the victim because he disappeared. But we did end up making 3 arrests on the actual shooters, and we did recover the actual weapon. On October 18th, in the 1200 block of Astoria, we got a call for a female who had been shot in the back 2 times. That actually occurred in St. Louis City, and she was transferred to Burns Hospital, and St. Louis City was notified about it. On October 21, 10,100 block of Newbold, police responded to a shots fired call where there was an arrest made for somebody who was popping off rounds, and we ended up actually making an arrest and seizing the firearm. And October 25th, if you did not see it on the news, there was 500 pounds of methamphetamine recovered, and 11 St. Louisans were arrested in a massive drug trafficking ring. The note about that is that whole investigation started from a traffic stop of a resident who lived in Bell Fountain. And that's how all that went down. Just a few more things. We're still waiting for, we got the approval of the MoDOT grant for $10,000 to buy a new speed trailer. And I think some people are confused, because I keep getting questions about speed humps and speed bumps, and it was really wrapped into traffic calming devices, and that was actually assigned by the board to the Public Safety Committee back in, I believe it was 2019. And there's only been about, I think, 3 official meetings in the past 1.5 years. That's just a guesstimate. That's why there has not been much work done on that, because that committee hasn't had any official meetings. Let's see, there's a local law enforcement block grant coming up this month. It's a short turnaround. The award would be another $10,000 for police equipment. That would be dispersed in January. The city clerk process is going good. There are 3 candidates in the process. And lastly, the city employees' health insurance. Surprisingly enough, and this is why I wanted to go with Myrma Health last year, is because of these types of benefits. Our claims and our demographics, meaning basically just age and gender, which the insurance companies use as factors in ratings for your insurance. We did the best out of the entire pool of cities that belong to that healthcare pool. Our insurance is being decreased by 8.4% this upcoming year. That's all I have, Mayor.
All righty, thank you. Attorney Coleman, City Attorney.
Good evening, and thank you, Mayor. I do not have a report this evening.
Okay. Report of the mayor, and I just want to say, I don't want to say too much, but I know there's been a concern about paying the bills. I think I made it clear several months ago that I would not allow this city to go in default in any of its bills. If I didn't pay the bills, our credit rating would just would go down tremendously. Well, we wouldn't have any credit, as a matter of fact. And so those are some things that that I must do as mayor. I think I made it clear at one of the meetings that that we will declare an emergency and keep the city afloat. That's what we're doing. That's what we will continue to do. We will continue to provide city services to all of our residents, and I think that's what you want, and I think that's what you expect of me. So I will continue to do that, and I just hope all of our citizens will understand and see through whatever rhetoric you may hear. That's all I have, and glad to see everybody on tonight. All righty, we'll go to citizens' comment. All the people, you can respond as a citizen. We're not in a automatic board meeting now. This is a mayor's meeting, and you can respond as a citizen. And it's, oh, maybe that's some hands up. Let me see.
Ms. Dale's hand is up, Mr. Mayor.
All right, would you speak? Alderwoman Dales.
Mayor, I just want to let you know I was present. I was having an issue with my
Right.
computer during roll call. That's all I want to say.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Anyone else?
Yeah, this is Kathy Mason. I just want to thank everybody who shows up for these meetings, and especially the mayor and Jimmy for getting that grant. I know he worked really hard on that.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Mayor, I have my hand up. Can you see it? Hello?
No, I don't see it, but you
Ms.
may.
Ms.
Okay,
Lane's
but you
hand
can
is up.
hear me.
Oh, yes, I see it now. All right, Ms. Lane.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. There were several questions that I have, but there's several people who aren't present to address them. But let me start with an announcement that I learned from the North County Fire District. There is a position available for firefighters, for a firefighter position, and that information is being advertised in local newspapers, including the American. And we're always talking about our desire to have our first responders to represent and reflect the community. So if anyone knows anyone who could qualify for being a firefighter, paramedic, please contact the fire district. I had a question to ask the treasurer about the audit, but he's not present, so I'll leave that there. I do have a comment to make regarding the unauthorized use of City Hall by Alderwoman Avant Elliott, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was authorized. I just recall when you, Mayor, had uh, a meeting that you authorized for a not-for-profit organization. I can't remember the name of it, but it had something to do with incarcerated family members of incarcerated. And the board literally raked you over the coals for that because they say that you should have been authorized, you should have gotten permission from the board to do that. And I recall some students from SLU were in the city conducting some, I can't remember what their survey was, but they wanted to meet. And the only restaurant we have here is White Castle, and they didn't want to meet there. And so an alderwoman allowed them to come into City Hall for their wrap up, and she was raked over the coals for it. I know that there was discussion that no one should be authorized to use City Hall without permission. So I'm curious as to how that happened. It actually, from what I understand, it turned into a little mock swearing in ceremony for a closed session for an organization that she had just been appointed to. So I just don't think we want to go down that road and have that unprecedented kind of activity to continue to happen in our city. I also want to thank everything that the rec center director did for the parks grant. It's very unfortunate that we were unable to get that grant last year. It could have been twice as much, but we're happy that we have it right now. And I appreciate everything that he did to make that happen. That's all I have at this point. Oh, I'm sorry. One more thing. Is the city attorney still on the call, Mayor?
Yes.
Okay. City attorney, I discovered that I made a sunshine request for some documents that I was told by the city clerk, the previous city clerk, they were confidential. And she cited the Missouri Revised Code for that request and said it was confidential communication between the city attorney and the board. That confidential information that I was told is right now published on the World Wide Web via Nextdoor. So, I mean, all a person has to do, because the alderman provided the link to the confidential information. So I would like to know, what are the repercussions and consequences of that?
City attorney?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Ms. Lane, I am not familiar with what exactly you are talking about, but I would be happy to look into it.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Anyone else from the public?
Yes, Mayor, this is Anthony Green.
All right.
The first thing is I actually may agree with Barbara West. Actually, I think the last meeting when those were there, I know you were trying to avoid an argument with one of the alderwomen. But I think given that there are at least 4 people on the board who've had a prolonged absence of 6 to 8 months, I think at a minimum, there should have been a meeting, a mayor's meeting, for them to have the floor to try to explain to their constituency and their respective wards what's going on that causes them to feel that they have righteous indignation to not perform their duties as elected officials of the city of Bellefontaine Neighbors. What I don't prefer is there to be this after the fact campaigning on next door to try to explain that. I think all of those assertions and or allegations should be made in a actual meeting. Not saying that they're true, but I don't like as a citizen that I am forced to reconcile allegations and assertions on next door versus them being able to come to a meeting where they've been absent for 6 to 8 months, try to commandeer that meeting and gut the agenda, but then at the same time not really have to explain in their terms, in their language, not mine or someone editorializing what they've said, but really to explain their behavior to the people, because I'm not clear as to how aldermen can just miss 6 to 8 months of meetings. And that's not their only function, but let's be intellectually honest here. That's their primary function, is to come to this meeting to discuss new business and old business, to pass, to tender motions, whether they pass or reject, and really, do the city's business. And they really haven't done that. And I think they should have a chance to have the floor, especially since all 4 of them showed up at the October 21st meeting, and all of them except for one are not here now. I think it's disturbing. I think they deserve the floor and time to say that, even if it's not the truth. I think they deserve that space to say that. If we can't get an agreed upon mediator to do that, I get we can't resolve the issue, but I think all of these issues on both sides need to be brought to the front and not litigated through next door. That's my first issue. The second issue is, I'm not sure exactly the date, but I would like to hear from our city treasurer. I'm not sure when exactly his last report would have been, because it would not have been October's, because he normally comes on the second meeting of the month. So I'm assuming it was September's that he's done. I just think he should be here. I think, I take that back. I'm sorry. I know he should be here. And that's not an attack on him, but we are, I'm not saying people are getting handsomely paid by the city, but he should be here. If he's not here, the reports talking about where the allocations went for the month should be here. Maybe it's published, but I really think he should be here. I don't see, to me, I'm not saying he's been gone as much as they have, but to me, his absenteeism is problematic. I've heard that he has not been very present in the city, as far as just, putting his eyes on the operations in the department. I don't know if that's true, because that's an accusation, but I want to make sure that our treasurer is on top of that. The best kind of vision is supervision, supervising the finance clerk, supervising the internal controls, over which our city auditor had some concerns about in our December meeting that we had. There wasn't necessarily anything that impacted the overall audit, but there were internal control deficiencies that they wanted to have addressed. I'm interested in hearing from the treasurer, and perhaps have we not addressed all of them, but have we brainstormed possible solutions to those internal control deficiencies that are highlighted, that is directly in his span of control. And while he's not at meetings, those are excellent times for him to sit down with the finance clerk and come up with a very good game plan to modify, not necessarily automatically change them, but to come up with suggestions and recommendations to you to modify the internal controls so that any vulnerabilities, any exposure areas, any risks that the auditor has highlighted have been mitigated. The last issue I have is just, I don't know what we can do, with what we got going on the board. I'm just really disturbed by it, just generally speaking. I just never seen this where people can't talk to one another. I just don't know what this is. I just wish the best for the city. I don't like paying for people to not be here. I don't like for people to argue. And let's be honest, I don't like people to argue with me or anybody else when we have receipts of things. There was allegations made that there wasn't it was allegations made that your agenda did not have any discussion of the new budget on it. So I'm arguing with a certain alderwoman about that, and I thank her for acknowledging that she standing corrected. But I'm concerned when it appears, I don't have proof, but it appears that you're sending out agendas and certain alder people may not even be reading the entirety of those agendas while they're missing the meetings. Because if it was on two separate agendas about discussion of the new budget, then I would generally think the alder people would be aware of that, because of course they would be reading the packets that you gave them, especially if they're not attending the meetings. This is, to me, dereliction of duty. You know, you have to, I mean, I don't know what you can do, but when you're abandoning a significant portion of what you're elected to do, the ordinances talk about a regularly scheduled meeting for all the aldermen. The city administrator, if we have one, is expected to be in all of these meetings. But I'm sitting on next door talking to other aldermen. Well, I'm not legally required to be in the meeting. I mean, we have certain aldermen that are using whether or not it's illegal or legal to attend the meeting. The expectation is that they're there. The expectation is that they attend the meeting. The city administrator, if we have one, needs to attend all of them. So why would an alder person get a hall pass? So and then also collect a check while they have righteous indignation and they're not doing their primary duty. You're mentioning that we're not getting grants. Is that an allegation or is that a proof? Because if we're not getting the grant, that's further dereliction of duty that's costing the city money. And if you can show clearly that their absenteeism is contributing to a loss of upwards of $400,000 last year, I think that will qualify under fraud, waste, and abuse that can be reviewed by Nicole Galloway, which is the state auditor. So I want to know, is that an allegation? Is that an assertion? Is that something that can be verified? Because if they're not attending and we're losing money this way, it's disturbing. Also, there's supposed to be a software package for the courthouse that they need for document imaging. That was on the August agenda report. Have they gotten their software? Because we haven't had a quorum except for the October 21st meeting. So they need certain software to be able to do their job effectively and efficiently. And there's certain alder people that said they would be available to vote on certain issues to keep the city running. So these are issues I think that all are fair. We need to give them the floor and kind of and have them explain why the municipal court system should not be getting their software package because they can't come to a meeting because they have issues with you or the way you conduct meetings. And the last issue that they need to bring to the floor, there's allegations that the board has passed certain motions and or ordinances that you're not enforcing. I have not gotten a list of yet what that is. If that is the truth, I would like to see what alleged ordinances and or motions have been passed by the board that have been stalled. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what they're using in next door. And I would like them to have the floor to be able to enumerate what items these are. I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me just say that the last meeting we had, that I didn't turn it into a mayor's meeting, that was an oversight on my part. I did not want to argue, and I sort of knew where that was going. It was going to turn into a political campaign, and I didn't want that. But I'll take that on advisement the next time. And so I'm going to, there are grants money that we need to pass resolutions for grants right now. We can't do it without a quorum. And we tried to call a special meeting to do it, and we couldn't get for all the people to sign their names to a petition to hold that meeting. There's a park and rec grant that is available to us now. I think it's $18,000, somewhere thereabouts, that we need a quorum. I'm willing to have a special meeting to do that because I don't like losing money when we don't have to. So as of tonight, I'm not authorizing any automatic pay without a legitimate excuse. And so those absentees tonight will not get paid. Any other comments from the public?
Yes, Your Honor, this is Peg Warnes. I would just like to thank the street department. About 3 weeks ago, we had some graffiti on the barrier at Cabot and not Coburg, but well, going into the shopping center. Anyway, I left a message for them, and within 2 hours, they were there painting and cleaning up the graffiti, and then came back the next day and put a second coat of paint on it. So it looks just fine with no obvious graffiti at all. I just thought that was great service. So I just want to say thank you and good job.
Thank you. I see in the chat, and maybe I'll just say it, a quick word about it. And that is the mock ceremony that Alderwoman Elliott had in City Hall. That was wrong. Being elected to the school board has nothing to do with city business, nothing at all. So to use up city electricity for a mock swearing in, and then you got the official swearing in the day after at the school district, is an abuse of city funds, and we'll look into that. Anyone else? Hearing none, again, let me thank you for your comments. Thank you for your presence. And I apologize that we're not able to conduct meetings the way you would like for us to do, and matter of fact, the way we should be able to do. But the time will come when we will. So we're going into the season of giving, Thanksgiving and Christmas. And I want to encourage everybody to be safe. I want to encourage you to enjoy family and friends. Hopefully this year we'll be able to sit together at a meal. Last year we were not, but things are getting better. Get your vaccination if you can, and if you will. I believe it saves lives. I'm vaccinated up, whatever. If they come out with a fourth one, I'm gonna get that one too. Because I remember before the vaccination was approved, that hospitals were full of COVID patients. And not only were they suffering in the hospital, many were dying, and that there were freezer trailers outside of hospitals and funerals home because there wasn't enough space to handle the deceased. So nobody can tell me that the vaccination did not work or is not working. We don't have that today. And it has, I believe, is a direct result of the vaccination. So I just want to encourage you, if you have not, to do it. I think we got a vaccination coming up soon at the rec center. I don't have that before me. Who has that date?
May I have it? It's Monday, November the 8th from 11 to 2. They're doing the vaccinations for all. Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, and they're also giving out the booster shots. And we have the information on, hopefully we'll have it on the website tomorrow, but it is posted over in the rec center and at City Hall.
Oh.
And it's offered through St. Louis, and I'm sorry, it's offered through Madam Chairwoman from St. Louis County Health Department.
Yeah, that's Councilwoman Days.
Yes.
Also, would you speak to the Santa parade, the Jeep parade that we're going to do again this year?
Greetings, neighbors. We just confirmed that we will have the Christmas parade like we did last year. However, This year, we're gonna have 2 days. So we want to make sure that all of our little children in the neighborhood and our seniors and everyone that want to see the parade go by, it's gonna be December the 18th and 19th, which is Friday and Saturday. On Saturday, December the 18th, we're gonna have, I'm sorry, December 18th and 19th. On Saturday, December the 18th, we're gonna have Santa with Mrs. Santa and their elves, and we're either gonna be inside the city, the rec center, depending on the weather, or on the outside. And we're working out everything, but the real Santa is gonna be there. And hopefully we'll make this a really big event. And we hope that everyone will tell their neighbors and let us know which streets have a bunch of kids on them, because we wanna make sure our little people see it. So it's
Okay,
gonna be a fun event.
thank you. So we have our youth director here. Maybe we can get this publicized pretty good. So as the chief, we'll map out the route that we could get that out for people who would want to come and be a part of that route, just as we drive by and shout Merry Christmas. All right, anyone else?
Mayor,
All right, here, please.
question, have the auditors come out to start their audit for the period ending June 30th, 2021? Have they started the audit on that yet?
No.
Okay, do you know the expected start date for that audit? Because last year, the audit report was issued at the end between Christmas. It was between Christmas and New Year's when there was a meeting to discuss the audit report for the period ending June 30th, 2020. So are we pushing it back? Or they need less time, or do we know when they plan to start the audit this year?
No, I think that audit starts around January. Because I think it has to be in like June. Somebody correct me, I'm guessing. But it hasn't started yet.
Okay, so it seems like it's going to start later this time around, because it should be almost an annual thing. If they had done an issuance of the June 30th, 2020 ending in December 2020, they should be close to doing a June 30th, 2021 by Christmas to New Year's this year, unless they're pushing the audit back due to scheduling or whatever reasons. Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay. But you think they're going to start possibly in January this year?
I believe I'll find out for sure.
All right. Thank you.
I asked that question recently, and it seemed like to me that's the answer I got. But I'll find out and make sure. One of the things that I want to do, and we did last year, is have the audit completed and passed by the board in ample time before the deadline. So we'll make sure we do that again this year. Anyone else?
Hi, Mayor. I just wanted to ask Alderwoman Dales if the Youth Commission could be invited to the Christmas ceremony or event that you guys are talking about. I did show up several years ago and we had a great time. So I would love to attend this year. I also would like to thank you publicly for never, ever, ever giving up on the citizens over here in Ward 4. And I want to publicly say, anyone that knows me knows I am a woman that can agree to disagree. And Alderwoman Dales and myself do not always see eye to eye. However, she has always been professional. She has never given up on me as a citizen in the community. I would like to also thank Dinah Tapman or Alderwoman Tapman, sorry, for including the Youth Commission with assisting with obtaining masks for the citizens and all that she does for the community a long way. And also Alderman Thomas, who has also assisted the youth as well. I've never thanked you guys. I don't think you get enough praise. I want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for assisting and helping the Youth Commission as much as possible. And again, thank you, Alderwoman Dales. I live in Ward 4, so no offense to everyone else. I'm so thankful I have an alderwoman that at least one person over here who has not given up on the citizens. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anyone else who would like to express themselves? Well, thank you all so much. I had my gavel tonight, just in case I needed the gavel. And I didn't need to use it tonight, so I appreciate it. With that said, we'll call the meeting to an end. The meeting will be adjourned now. Thank you all again for being here.
Thank you, Mayor.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, all.
Good night.
Good night.